On those two fronts, I've suggested that we actually expand the First Amendment back to its original meaning. Increase freedom to have God in public space. Increase the freedom of political speech. The third thing I want to talk about very briefly is the genuine danger of terrorism, and in particular terrorism using weapons of mass destruction and weapons of mass murder, nuclear and biological weapons. And I want to suggest to you that we right now should be impaneling people to look seriously at a level of supervision that we would never dream of if it weren't for the scale of the threat. Let me give you two examples. When the British this summer arrested people who were planning to blow up 10 airliners in one day, they arrested a couple who were going to use their 6-month-old baby in order to hide the bomb as baby milk. Now, if I come to you tonight and say there are people on the planet who hate you, and there are 15 to 25-year-old males willing to die as long as they get to kill you, I've simply described warrior culture, which has been true historically for 6,000 or 7,000 years. But if I come to you and say there's a couple that hates you so much that they will kill their 6-month-old baby in order to kill you, I am describing a level of ferocity and a level of savagery beyond anything we have tried to deal with. And what is truly frightening in the British experience is they are arresting British citizens born in Britain, speaking English, who went to British schools, live in British housing, and have good jobs. This is a serious, long-term war. And it will inevitably lead us to want to know what is said in every suspect place in the country. It will lead us to learn how to close down every website that is dangerous. And it will lead us to a very severe approach to people who advocate the killing of Americans and advocate the use of nuclear and biological weapons. And my prediction to you is that either before we lose a city, or if we are truly stupid, after we lose a city, we will adopt rules of engagement that use every technology we can find to break up their capacity to use the internet, to break up their capacity to use free speech, and to go after people who want to kill us, to stop them from recruiting people before they get to reach out and convince young people to destroy their lives while destroying us. This is a serious problem. It will lead to a serious debate about the First Amendment, but I think the national security threat of losing an American city to a nuclear weapon or losing several million Americans to a biological attack is so real that we need to proactively now develop the appropriate rules of engagement. And I further think we should propose a Geneva Convention for fighting terrorism, which makes very clear that those who would fight outside the rules of law, those who would use weapons of mass destruction, and those who would target civilians are in fact subject to a totally different set of rules that allow us to protect civilization by defeating barbarism before it gains so much strength that it is truly horrendous. This is a sober topic, but I think it's a topic we need a national dialogue about, and we need to get ahead of the curve rather than wait until actually we literally lose a city, which I think could literally happen in the next decade if we're unfortunate. So, I promise, Mr. McQuaid, I'd try to